What's up, athletes? I'm going to share with you a warm-up that I would love for you to do before every single workout. It is so important to stretch, so please never neglect this, because by stretching, you're increasing your heart rate, you're also getting your body prepared and ready for the movement. So we always want to avoid injury. We want to make sure that training is a part of our life and it's something that we can see ourselves doing long term. But if we don't stretch and if we don't warm up correctly, then it only limits that capacity. What I love to start off with is a walkout. You're going to see this in our workouts together, but the walkout is a really great way to stretch the posterior chain, which is your hamstrings, your low back, and also to get that heart rate going. So we always start with this. Anytime we do a warm-up, we really want to avoid holding a static stretch. So a static stretch is something that you would hold in position for a long time. But instead, because we're about to start working out, we want to make sure our body is also moving right now. So if you're finding that you have to bend your knees a lot, that's an indication that your hamstrings are tight. How many of these do we do? Around 10. I'm gonna say 10, but truly there are days where I spend more time or a little less time, depending on what feels tight. But keep it as a rule of thumb to start off with 10. We're going to do one more, and then we're going to switch. All right, good stuff. Now we're going to slowly roll all the way up. Next, we're going to do a skater squat. So get a little bit wide, go into that squat position. Again, we're getting our legs ready, but we're also stretching out our adductors. So that's your inner thighs. So really take your time. We're going to go from side to side if you want. You could also reach for your toes, get a little bit more stretch from the back, but really think about working that inside of your thigh. Good work, good work. One more. And again, I just keep going until I feel nice and loose. Next, we're going to do a leg swing. So if you have really great balance, amazing. Otherwise, grab a wall and you're going to go back and forth in the leg. So swing that leg back and forth. I know some of you are doing this, and I'm going to tell you it's not doing much. So as you're extending your leg, I want you to feel it here. And as you're kicking your leg up, you're going to feel it in the back. But warm it up. So before you start to really kick high and as hard as you can, just do a few reps to get into it. And again, if you want, go ahead, come off the wall. Now, we went back and forth. We're going to go in and out now. So same thing, this time in and out, same idea. And let's try to do this without a wall. It would look like this, or go ahead and grab yourself a wall and switch. All right, let's do the other side. Swing those legs back and forth. Do about 10. I always have slightly better balance on my left side because of injuries, and you'll notice that too. Your balance on a non-injured articulation, joint, body part, you generally have more balance. All right, in and out now. Again, grab onto that wall if you need to. Do a few more reps, and I hope your balance is way better than mine today. Next, let's get into a prayer squat. This is the one movement where we are going to kind of hang out here, but I want you to really just shift your weight back and forth. So I'm shifting my weight from side to side, and I'm really sinking my hips low. Now, when I first started doing this, I could not get this low. When I first started doing this, I was up here. So if you're finding yourself up here, shows that your hip joints, all the articulations, the ligaments are quite tight. But the more you do this, the more consistent you stay, it will come. So I just stood up, shook off my legs, and I went into it one more time. So feel free to do that if you need to spend a bit more time there today. Next, we're gonna do a Samson stretch. So on one knee, you're going to just slowly rock, okay? So the idea of this rocking movement is that we don't want the stretch reflex to kick in. We're just slowly rocking, and if you want, you can go ahead and lift up that arm. So notice my arm is straight on the same side where my knee is on the floor, all right? And I could even lean away to get a deeper stretch in my psoas. All right, switch, other side. Same idea, start first with that rocking motion. And then when you're ready, if you want, you can go ahead, lift up that arm and move to the other side. Again, slight rocking in the hip. And let's come back down. All right, curl up the toes. You're gonna stand up here, shake off the legs. Do big circles with the arms next. My thumbs point down, and as I rotate, my thumbs come up to the ceiling. So as my arms lower, I also change the direction of my thumb. Now let's pick up some speed here. Remember to rotate those arms around the joint, and let's go the other way. Again, the rule of thumb is about 10, but you gauge what feels tight today and decide how many reps feels right for you. All right, a couple more. Good. Next, bring your elbows to the side. We're going to do internal, external rotation. And again, find where that feels tight. All right, final stretch today is a wall slide. I love this one because this is where we're going to pinpoint a lot of our immobility. So start with this position. You're pushing your low back into the floor. So I'm tilting my pelvis, my low back is against the floor. I cannot stick my hand behind my back. If my back is arched, it comes out all the way. So stick your low back into the floor, push your knees out, bring your arms up. And in this position, if you're already having a hard time getting your hands against the wall, then just hang out here. Bring your hands to the wall, take your time. This is what you're gonna do today. Otherwise, if you're all right here, your shoulders are against the wall, your elbows are against the wall, your hands are against the wall, let's slide. Now, your maximum range of motion is where that arm comes off. So if you're here and your arm is starting to come off, that's where you stop. All the way down, up, keep those hands against the wall. Check that low back, make sure it's not lifting up because that's a nice tight lat. So this is great to do. This really dissociates the scapula, your shoulder blade, from the rest of your body and prevents injury long term. Let's do one more and break. All right, athletes, we're ready to start. Remember to always do this before every single workout. All right, let's do this.